Starting tomorrow.
Oh boy, yeah, we got pads starting tomorrow.
I want to see Dexter.
Thanks, appreciate you letting me set that topic up.
No problem, buddy.
Great
We're
job.
all a team here.
Great job.
This is all over the
Is that what
place
that was?
today.
The team.
We're all about it.
We
I
not
felt
a
like when
team.
Carlton took
We're
the
all
ball
about
from Will and
involvement.
shot it.
Why don't you
And missed the whole rim.
Pat,
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes.
What were you saying, Pat? Go ahead, buddy.
Best. We got pads getting ready over the next 2 days, which means we're going to get a very, very good look at what we want to see in pads. So let's get this thing started off here. Joe, what do you want to see in pads? No, don't laugh. No, it's not funny. What do you want to see?
I want to see
What you want to see?
Don't try to do me like kids. No, I want to see Dexter on the defensive line. You know, is he able to get through? But mainly that offensive line. It's him on the defensive line. And what is his offensive line going to look like that can protect this quarterback? And will we get, you know, what we're hearing in terms of this practices and what Caleb's doing?
Yeah.
You know, real time. I know they can't hit him because they're just going to, you know, basically do two-hand touch on him. But will he be able to make some real completions when it's like go time?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want to see. Those are my big three.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it is the trenches. I need to have two answers. They don't have to be the final answer, but I need to at least have a picture of what the answer may look like.
Yeah.
Is Javon Dexter the answer at 3 technique? I'm with Joel on that one. Who's playing center? Because based on how they've done this schedule, Coleman Shelton will be the starting center the first day in pads tomorrow.
Okay. It's been back and forth.
It's been back and forth every time.
Right. Okay.
Now, if we see Ryan Bates get first day in pads tomorrow, that would be very interesting because that would be the first time we've seen a center play 2 days in a row. Does that help and or hurt Caleb Williams? Is there anything to it while in pads if the offense looks better tomorrow, if it's Coleman Shelton or if it's Ryan Bates, right? Like, and I know first time in pads, that's not when you're going to make your final decision, but like it is the trenches. It's what I'm looking at most. There's an expectation around Braxton Jones that he is going to get some run in pads, which is good because he's slowly ramping up. He's kind of getting like, I don't even know if I can say like exactly half, like 40% of the snaps right now at left side. They're being very cautious with him right now. And there's definitely not a Larry Borum love out there. Love that's going on.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
we
so.
got no worries on that.
Give me that announcer voice. Will Tevin Jenkins be able to, stay healthy? Will Ryan Bates be the? Give me that Calvin voice.
What you want me to say?
Will Nate Davis actually be a starter?
Do my rated R voice.
Will Tevin Jenkins decide to strap it up?
Okay.
Oh, snap. Rated R.
I don't like that.
No, will Ryan Bates going to be the
don't
starter?
like
So
that.
will Nate Davis actually practice and actually be a contributor on the offensive line? Go ahead.
Will
What you got,
Nate
Ring?
Davis decide to contribute on the offensive line? We'll find out on the next episode of Rated R.
bro, I'm not gonna lie, yo. If he can do the Dragon Ball Z voice,
That basically was it.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I think my three worries are who's gonna play center, who's gonna be the starting center. I think that's one of the biggest questions because you're gonna need that headed into week one. But then not to mention that, I mean, I think everybody's in agreement on the Javon Dexter thing. But my thing also is who's gonna step up, because we still have that question of who's gonna be opposite Montez Sweat. Who's going to step up opposite Montez Sweat? Because we're gonna need to see that, because there's been a lot of talk about do they bring Yanni back? Do they go and find somebody else? Hopefully, they got somebody that steps up while they got the pads on. So that's what I'm most interested to hear about tomorrow.
What's the deal with is there any noise about Randolph, that undrafted dude from Illinois? Like Booker, is there any progression?
Him taking somebody's place?
Just in terms of making an impact on the team, has there anybody said anything about Randolph?
You can't really tell anything. I mean, the things that we've talked about Austin Booker is he's quick and gets in the backfield. The things we talked about with Javon Dexter is he's big and can put his hands up.
But I'm saying that's something to look forward to.
Yes, that's something to look
when
forward
the pads
to. Yeah.
come, they're on the pads, what have you. But I would be interested to see some contributions from will there be a diamond in the rough on top of what we expect out of this team? That's always the plus, right? It's someone you didn't expect that just made the team. That was a 5th round. They're motivated, and so it's just an embarrassment of riches of talent on the squad. I'd love to see one of those guys hit. Even with Karan, is Karan? I know he's on the NF5 list. Right?
He's just ouchie right now.
So he's not even. He won't be around for weeks, if anything. Yeah. So.
I'm gonna go a different route. This is based off of our topic a few days ago when we talked about Khalil Herbert looking like he's making an impact. This is when I want to see Khalil Herbert make a difference. If you're putting on pads, then that means that eventually you have to block for the quarterback, right? If they're going to be pursuing and putting pressure on the quarterback, you have to do your job and actually getting some protection there in the backfield. And so I want to see if Khalil Herbert has actually improved in that, so that he can stay on the team. We're talking about him looking impressive in all the other areas that he's already been good at. What does your blocking look like?
He's probably not part of the plans, though, man.
Listen, he's running with the twos right now. He's had a phenomenal training camp. I don't know if he's out of the plans just yet, but
are you saying he's looking like a 4th round pick?
You're not.
No, I would never say that. Like a 4th round pick.
4th rounder.
I think Saquon Barkley might have been able to get back a 4th round pick, but you know what I mean. Like I don't think you can write off Khalil 100% yet, but I do think it would be difficult to say we're taking 4 running backs into the season.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the part that's tough for me. So I do think that it's less likely that Khalil is on the team. But like you said, if there are things that he's improved upon this offseason, if we come out of training camp, we're like, he's blocking.
Yeah.
Like he's actually doing it. As a backup running back, and he knows he's the backup, he's blocking.
Yeah. I do like
I would rather have Khalil Herbert on my team than not.
That's true.
So it is something to keep an eye on. It's something to see, if you're going to see that part of his game develop. But it's kind of tough that he's put in this position of like play for your life, but that's the NFL.
Yeah. Well, it benefits the Bears. He's in a contract year. He's going to want to make some money. He's decent. He's definitely had injury issues, but I don't think he fits for this team. So, if there's a trade value for him by week 6, what's the trade? Week 8 now? Did they push the trade deadline in the NFL?
Yeah, it's literally like halfway. It's halfway as you can get halfway. So, week 8.
If there's still a move. I mean, that 2nd round pick is still out there for the Carolina pick. So if he wants to make a move and see some things going on, in terms of training camp, but this will be the time to make those moves, because once you get your team set, you really don't want to mess up that chemistry and getting all the players in position in terms of what they have to do. So they could be going into this year, but if we lose Khalil Herbert, that would be, unless we get a draft pick, that would be a very beneficial for us.
I mean, I think this helps out both parties, because at the end of the day, I mean, even if he's not here, there are teams that need a running back. So even if you do trade him, I mean, you looking at I know the Giants need a backup. I know Dallas is hurting for a running back right now. So I mean, there's teams that you could definitely go to. I don't see a 4th rounder, Joe. I don't see a 4th rounder. But I mean,
by the way, did y'all hear Danny Dimes was cooking?
Bro, cooking what?
Boiled chicken,
bro. Just cooking what? I am sick of this.
I don't know where Brand saw that report, but Brand texted our group chat and was like, Daniel Jones is cooking out in
he cooking hoodles.
I was like, cooking what? He's cooking
noodles.
He cooking hoodles, bro.
No, hoodles was Ringo's meal of choice one night. He cut up hot dogs.
It was a one-time thing.
I don't know about that.
No. It was a one-time thing.
I think we
put the hot dogs in the noodles. He cooking hoodles, bro. He cooking hoodles.
I think we've just really baked you so bad about the hoodles that you won't tell us when you eat them anymore.
Hoodles of hoodles.
He's cooking hoodles, bro.
But no, I think at this point now, like when the pads come on, that's the time where you get to see, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. The thing that I really want to see, how much fight back is this offense gonna have? Because everything that we just talked about, the defense seeming like a dog on a chain with a steak 2 feet out of reach. You calm down.
Ribeye.
But like that to
Sounds
me
big.
means, and it's here's the thing, it's a defense that's been together for 3 years now, for the most, but 2.5, 3 years, right? Like that to me tells me that you probably are going to have some chemistry, and that when y'all give each other that side eye,
it's time
to go out here and kill somebody.
Yep.
Like I want to know if the offense is going to be able to withstand that, be able to deal with that, keep a level head, not be, have a team that's in a bunch of fights, because you want some pushback, but you don't want it to turn into we're not getting stuff done out here because we're trying to sort out fights. Like, I think to me, that is the more important thing to see. How's the offense going to deal with a defense that has literally just been like, you can't do anything, you can't do anything, you can't do anything, go.
I feel like that should be headed up by the quarterback. That sort of attitude, I feel like, is going to be led by the quarterback. And I believe, was it Billings that said that he doesn't know if Caleb at this point has that like in your face type of aggression or type of leadership, but he has the type of leadership where people are buying into what he's saying. Like, he's going to give you that motivation. Hey, next play type of thing. Move on. Even if we don't, succeed in what we're running.
If at first you don't succeed,
get back up and try again. But will he eventually have that dog in him? I think he will. I think he will, because you've seen it even in college. You've seen him have an attitude. So, I like the background music.
I thought that was solid.
That was pretty nice.
While you were doing that, you had a nice little background vocal.
So I do want to see that. Another thing real quick that I do want to see, I saw Baki put it in the chat, is Tyler Scott has been the training camp darling so far with all these nice catches and everything. Can he add to that with the pads on?
Bro. Listen. The Tyler Scott.
It's too much love.
It's not too much love. The love is deserved.
What is love?
But
baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
Go.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Anyway, no, the Tyler Scott love is warranted, but it's like, I feel like people are expecting this massive thing this season from Tyler Scott. You know what I mean? I think Tank Dale. I think people are expecting Tank Dale from Tyler Scott.
Right.
And it's like, guys, he's not going to get the ball enough to have that happen.
He is way behind everybody else.
He is so far down on the depth chart. You know how many times you get to your fourth receiver? Not much.
Right up there.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. Where's Dwan for?
Oh, that's the defense.
He's still on the team, but he's Dwan for. Oh, that's just the offense. Yeah, look. I mean, like,
yeah.
It's
a lot of people.
I don't even
got
know
the first three, and then
you got Tyler Scott with the seconds. This is not updated. Well, you got starters. I see it. Never mind. I see how you got it. Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, not to say that the love is overblown, but it's like, guys, like, you also have to understand the situation Tyler Scott is coming into.
Yeah, I'll say this, at the least, having him as your number 4 is better than what we had back then when I think Pettis or whoever we had at number 4 a couple years ago.
Yeah,
it was just like
I mean, he's a nice addition, if not a special teams contributor and anything else, and feel like what is a nice slot guy. But other than that, we got three dogs, more Allen and Aduze. It's not going to matter about Tyler Scott. But what you want is, like, whenever whoever's on the field, they don't kill you. It's Bayless getting on the field and he's bobbling the ball, like he had all those
controlled aggression.
Well, just being able to be a true contributor on the squad. And so I think it goes from the top down. Now the difference is that how you run your team, everybody's accountable. And so we have a lot more talent than we've had in recent years, period. So, hopefully we are able to control games. We're able to control the clock. The defense should be able to give the ball to the offense, and it's the reciprocity. What we don't want is that we have this great defense and they're always on the field and they're getting tired.
Yeah.
Then it ends up turning into fatigue, which then turns into injuries.
Right.
So we're able to have a good running game, which also protects Caleb Williams. We have receivers that also protects Caleb Williams. And then the offensive line can actually block. I mean, everything. That's why football is one of the greatest sports, period. It's a true team sport that everyone has to do their job.
And the thing is, too, I think that
your job.
the dope thing about this situation
What's
is
good,
that
Christy?
you have the right amount of rookies with the perfect amount of vets, like the perfect mix. So it's like you what you just alluded to about the not letting the defense get tired. The offense knows that, hey, we got to go out here, we got to score, we got to execute. And the thing is, Caleb knows that as well. It's just about how fast can we get these guys up to speed if we're a coaching staff, so we don't run into those issues. Because as elite as we think our defense is, can't have them running out there constantly like that, because we know that that's a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah, and the big thing that we're going to see, especially in season, is, the Bears are going to be able to get turnovers. The Bears are going to be able to put the ball back in the offense's hand. What's the offense going to be able to do with that? You're not going to see a ton of that tomorrow in pads, but I mean, like, there's an opportunity to start that process of like, okay, now go finish the job. You know what I mean? And I think the 11-on-11 periods are going to be, I would expect to see a ton of that tomorrow. Like, hey, we got to get you in the end zone.
I would like to see that, he was, I mean, we all love the big play, of course. It's the bomb for 60 yards.
What was that word?
Yep.
Bomb.
No, how you said it, though?
The bomb.
The bomb.
Yeah. It sounded like you kind of had
Y'all heard that, chat? That was crazy.
No, but what I really like to see is that he does like a 5-yard completion, 7-yard completion, 3, 7, 5. Like, he's able to matriculate down the field, boys, so to speak. Matriculate. I'd like to see that type of play, because, you definitely want to see those moments. Like, everybody remembers that famous Trubisky throw where he didn't make the throw and the guy's in the end zone like this. Remember the tight end was in the red zone, and
Jimmy Graham.
Not Jimmy Graham, it was the guy from the Eagles. He couldn't make the throw to him.
Trey Burton.
Trey Burton.
Burton.
The Gibbs guy. So the idea is that you want to see that Caleb is able to read, and he's able to process to maybe make those type of throws. Those are the special throws that we love to see in case a play breaks down. But can he actually execute the play to get from the first read to his second read, if not maybe his third read? That's what I'd like to see coming out of it, just with the pads and just him being actually play a quarterback.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Before we move on, I do want to say,
oh boy,
let's give a little attention to Tory Taylor.
Ooh, little Tory Taylor love.
Little Tory Taylor
Little
action.
Tory
I haven't
Taylor
mentioned
action.
Tory Taylor in a minute.
Okay, all
How
right.
does he look, Pat? Is he still kicking those things out of the field? What are we doing?
You know what? Tory Taylor can punt. He punted fine today. They actually did some punt drills. He punted fine today.
All right.
But I will say this: the backup that they have, Corliss, every time he punts, all I can think is we drafted a punter with a 4th round pick. Bro. That's all I can think. Bro,
He
booms
the backup
punts,
is
bro.
good
That
enough.
close,
Bro,
or is there a gap in talent, or
There's a gap as far as how. I don't even know if it's how far. I think the gap is like how many times Tory can be precise.
He's supposed to be consistent. Yeah.
Like Tory is 8 of 10, right? Like if he punts it 10 times, he probably can pinpoint where he wants it to go 8 times.
Oh, I'll take that.
Corliss probably can do it 6.
Hey,
That's
Two
a
more
lot.
times.
That's a lot for a 4th round pick. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
hey.
and I listen. He is.
Don't
He's
you-
a left-footed punter as
All
well.
right.
He's
All
a
right.
black guy.
Now-
Is he Ray Guy incarnated?
He's pretty good, bro. Like every time Tory puts because Tory literally, when you watch him punt, he puts a different spin on it on purpose. So like, there's one where it'll spin like this. There's one where it'll have backspin. There's
crazy.
one where it'll have I don't know what the heck this motion is here, but
Oh,
I've seen
yeah,
it.
little
Like he
Joakim
can,
Noah.
he can do it all.
Okay.
But every time I see him do that, I instantly look over at Corliss, and Corliss does the same punt. And I'm like, a 4 for 1. He's here. Tory Taylor, I love him. Here we go. You people.
we
Don't
shall
you
see.
be- don't you-
Hey, he might make a
Don't you
difference.
besmirch his
Tory-
name.
Listen, when punter talk dies down, Tory Taylor has looked good. He's looked fine out
All
there.
right, good.
He's holding for us as well, and he's done well at that too.
Good hold.
Good hold.
No,
He,
post.
he lets the
Strong
he gets the ball in his hand, laces out,
And he holds it.
and he's got a good hold.
Laces
So I mean, laces out.
Hey, yo.
You gotta have laces out though.
Yeah, man.
No one laces in.
All right.
That's how you get that infection.
Oh.
Let's move on to the final topic. Let's move on to the final topic before we get up out of here.